joining us now on the hotline. Former NBA star, check him out, 10 years in the league. You can see him on NBA TV, here with us here on Fox Sports 1, CBS, ESPN, everywhere. It is Ryan Hollins. What's happening, Ryan?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. Hey, you getting ready to go? You going to go back and play in the bubble when they call you in about a week?
Yeah, man. Hey, Zion was a little out of shape, man. He needs to fill in. I'm ready to go, baby.
I was waiting for you to post a video of you doing some up-downs and going, look, I'm ready. I'm in shape. I can go. I can come play.
Oh, my God. It's hard enough to find a gym as is, man, especially find a trainer.
All right, so, hey, dude, so what is it with Zion? I look at this situation. I go, it's obvious. The Pelicans are treating his health number one overall. They would play him more if they didn't think he would get hurt. And if the playoffs, they make it, great. But if not, they're not going to go crazy and play Zion extra minutes because the playoffs don't mean as much as keeping him healthy.
It's a disgrace, man. It is. I hope that we can get to the point where Zion understands how important he is to the league. If I'm going to diagnose the situation, I haven't spoken to anybody in the Pelicans organization. I don't have any specifics. It's just me as a professional speculating from the outside. He came in on a heavy minutes restriction. He was upset. I'm sure player, coach, agent probably talked a bunch behind the scenes. He played some heavier minutes with the weight. He looks like he's darn near added, 15 to 20 pounds during COVID. And I'm sure that knee flared up, or he didn't feel great after the game. So they're going to do a smart thing and sit him out. The disgrace here comes when you're looking at Zion not knowing how important he is to the league, because guys like that have to make sacrifices, whether it's the Kobes, the LeBrons, the Charles Barkleys, the Jordans. All those guys sacrifice their bodies to be able to come out and play. And there's a lot of little things about being a professional that you have to go through to succeed. I played with DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan was chubby his first couple of years in the league. When he lost the weight, got with a nutritionist, everything else changed. DeAndre Jordan has never been in the same likes or ballpark as Zion Williamson of his hype and his expectation. Not that DeAndre's not a good player. So it's disappointing to see that he hasn't figured it out yet. And it's not about the team. It's not about, I'm at the house sitting around. I don't have the best, things around him. Giannis went through COVID. Marcus Gasol went through COVID. He improved. Nikola Jokic lost weight during COVID. There are a number of guys who took this time to come and get better. So hopefully Zion gets it and he can actually understand his importance to the NBA.
Well, they added all those teams to the bubble so he'd get to play. And Memphis, watching them now, they're struggling. They opened the door, Ryan. They opened the door, said, come on and come get it, big fella.
Hey, brother, and when you look at the Pelicans, down the line, their matchups, they've got nothing but under 500 teams. I mean, heck, that loss to the Kings, that was the dagger, and Buddy Hield didn't even play heavy minutes. That's just flat-out disappointing. So they have a real opportunity at hand. You would hope that they somehow squeeze in, and it's not like the rest of the league has been looking great, but if they had the sense of urgency of Devin Booker and the Suns or a couple of, or even the Pacers, a number of these other teams that are saying, man, we're going to come out and make the most of this situation, and you got to look squarely on Zion. You heard Josh Hart come out and say it, and a number of other guys that, hey, man, if you had Zion for this entire season, they'd be sitting comfortably probably in the 7th or 8th or possibly even 6th spot in the Western Conference. He's that box office, and he gives the Pelicans something that they don't have. He's really intriguing as a player. He's got a quick second jump. He's got a high IQ, and he can just finish around the rim with the best of them. And honestly, Zion coming in, he's exceeded expectations. I didn't think he'd be this effective this early, but he's that darn good. But he's got to stay in shape.
Well, he also can't play defense. So we got that. They gave up $140. And Jason and I were talking about this before, Ryan. How much, does this now weigh on what Alvin Gentry may or may not be for this team long term?
It shouldn't weigh in on Alvin Gentry, but, what's ugly is that when you have a star like Zion Williamson, Alvin Gentry's got one job now. That's get on the same page with Zion. Now, obviously, you got guys like Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, J.J. Redick, who are just dogs. Those are workers. Those are guys that if you never question them or gave them a summer workout plan, they're going to come out and they're going to improve from season to season. But you're looking at Zion, and if Zion doesn't reach his potential, if he's not on the same page with Alvin's not going to be there too much longer. Even though he's a coach, and I played for Alvin before. Alvin has his stripes in the league. No one can question what he's done, but if he's not on the same page with Zion, they're going to be looking to build around him. And keep in mind, Zion is the guy you trade Anthony Davis for. Anthony stinking Davis. Okay, that's a top 10 or top 5, wherever you want to rank him, talent in the NBA. And if Zion is supposed to fill those shoes, everyone else is going to go before you kind of give up on this kid. So you don't draft a guy as box office as Zion Williamson, and then you give up on him. Unfortunately, you give up on the general manager, the coach, and all the players around him first.
The other part of this conversation is, okay, Zion's sitting out, then you get a little bit larger. He's sitting out the second night of back-to-backs. LeBron sat out last night, second night of back-to-backs against the Rockets, and with a sore groin. TNT must have loved that. Hey, we got Rockets-Lakers. Oh, by the way, LeBron's not playing. Dude, why are they playing back-to-backs in the bubble? There's no reason to. You're scheduling 8 games in the playoffs. Why are we even having back-to-backs?
For one, you don't have to worry about travel. For two, what else are these guys doing? For three, there's a lot of money that we're trying to make up, baby. There's a lot of money you're trying to get back for the league. And if you're an NBA player, you're not equipped to play a back-to-back at this point after you had 3 months off. There's really no excuse. And I get it. Guys, I understand this was not the ideal 3 months off, okay? This was not the, go to the Bahamas, enjoy yourself, and then come back and train for the next, couple months and then come and play in a bubble. This was you sitting at home, scavenging for gyms or trying to do, workouts in your basement, guys. We call them the jail workouts. You ever see the jail workout? It consists of, push-ups and sit-ups and, some air squats, So I get it. They're not the best of situations workout-wise, but hopefully these guys have the ability to, make the most of it. But as a pro, you got to come in ready to go. I remember the closest thing I can say, real quick, guys, when we had the lockout and we came back, we had triple headers that we had to play. There were back-to-backs that we had to play to catch up with the league schedule and do as best as we can to really make salary. So a back-to-back should not bother any player.
All right, so we've watched the Lakers. All right, you got Phoenix and Portland on the come. We'll get to them in a minute. But Lakers with their shooting percentage and LeBron with this cryptic, it's just some things you can't control that's here that I don't really want to talk about that's off the floor. What do you make of that?
Passive-aggressive LeBron is back. We didn't want to see it. We want to hype him up. We want to throw him in with Michael Jordan. You guys know I'm going to throw him in with Michael Jordan whether it should or should happen. Okay, guys, I'm just going to do that. But you do not want to see this. I'm not sure what's going on behind the scenes with the Lakers organization. And it's every single team has essentially been hit by COVID. I mean, the Phoenix Suns come out on fire. The Pacers come out on fire. There's a couple of teams who made the most of it. The Rockets, heck, they've looked really good. But I understand, man, you couldn't control Avery Bradley joining the bubble. Rajon Rondo hurting his fist or wrist or whatever that was within the first couple of days of training camp. I get it, LeBron, but you're not going to have the same excuses. Kevin Durant is no longer on the Warriors. Steph and Clay are both injured and sitting out. They're not even in the bubble right now. So, LeBron, you got to get it together, baby. Passive-aggressive LeBron can't be met, guys.
All right, lastly, Ryan, we talked about those teams at the bottom of the West and getting in, and I look at, when I say who out of this horde of teams that are all within a game of each other is going to get in that 8-9 game, the team, I know it seems kind of obvious. Well, I'm going to go with Portland and Phoenix because these are the teams I know that have come into the bubble saying, we want this. We're ready for this restart. We want to win. We're looking at this as a second chance. And other teams are kind of like, meh. We got meh from Memphis. We've gotten meh so far from San Antonio. Meh from the Pelicans. So that's who I'm going. Who are you going with as your 8-9 teams?
I hope Phoenix can get in there. They would definitely deserve it. This is the excitement that we had all season before. The big fella DeAndre Ayton had his drug thing. I'm not sure what it was, so I'm not going to speak on it. But if you look at the roster, Phoenix is a solid team. Devin Booker can play. We know what DeAndre Ayton. We know his type of talent. And they've got a bunch of long, lanky defenders across the perimeter. And Ricky Rubio, We know what he does with international ball. Ricky can ball, man. I love playing and competing with and against Ricky Rubio. So that was a team that you have marked down on roster-wise that had enough talent. I'd like to see it go out and compete, but I think it's all about Portland. When you look at this Portland squad, Damian Lillard is easily a top 5 player in the NBA and the best point guard that we have in the league today, guys. Quote me on that. And then you have C.J. McCollum. That squad is coming in healthy. Skinny Mello is on a mission, baby. He's hitting dagger buzzer beaters. And then they go and knock off Houston, who was arguably the hottest team at the time that was really making noise. So if you're looking at Portland, nightmare matchup for LeBron James in the first round. Absolute nightmare, guys. We're going to be talking about that. And Charles Barkley does not look as crazy as he once did, saying that Portland could beat the Lakers.
He is on Twitter at the Ryan Hollins. That is at the Ryan Hollins. Hey, hit him up for all your workout needs and advice. He will be able to tell you what kind of squats and what kind of exercises
workouts, man.
you can do. Dude, as always, man, great catching up with you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, fellas.